Yeah, who knew old Matt was a big old star?
Okay. And then if it were Wednesday,
Yeah.
there was a few things they had.
I'll take a big film. One came down with my radio for back.
So I'll find out for you and
So he came down.
Thank you.
It's always.
Do you want me to check in your?
I talked to him today about that. Yeah, he said, I told him, I said, I will give you.
Well, we got the weather. Other than that.
How you with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Give me your name again.
Yeah, we got problem.
So I have like.
Thank you.
And what? I don't think they do. COLE or COA,
Oh.
whatever.
Got them?
Okay, I'll check into it. I don't think it.
Oh.
Yes.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
We spent 400 of them damn things, over 400.
Oh, on the billboard, yeah.
BJ, you're famous.
You guys didn't
Never answer.
He's out of town right now.
It was good.
This is last week. Time.
It's fine.
Is it time?
Oh, it's time. All right. Call the meeting to order. Would you please join me in the pledge of allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Candy, would you please take roll?
Councilman Madsen?
Here.
Leah?
Here.
Councilman Kaufman?
Here.
Councilman Allison?
Here.
Mayor Graves?
Here. You have before you an agenda as presented, I believe. No changes. Would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Moving on to the consent agenda, for the purpose of discussion, to approve and place to record the consent agenda items. Motion, please.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion?
Chief, Robbie's still hitting 16th Street pretty good.
Yes.
He's on that.
Thank you.
I had one for you. So K9 unit, we're done. We're going.
He has one last certification Wednesday.
Oh, okay. And after the end,
After that, it should be-
we'll know where we're total overtime and what the total cost was after the next session, I guess.
The total cost of what?
Overtime and the total cost for this dog after his next certification.
That shouldn't be too much more overtime. We worked with his overtime to try alleviating some of that.
I'm still loving all the information you get on the economic and wellness report.
Oh, good, thank you.
Pretty good. A lot of information.
You pass along to all the employees that worked hard diligently on the cemetery to get that up to snuff for Memorial Weekend.
Will I pass it on? Thank you.
Please.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Councilman Madsen did buy them all donuts. But yes, I will pass it on.
Oh, yeah, Chief. Also, I've seen your guys patrolling the cemetery a lot more.
Yeah, I've been in there a lot myself also, due to some of the complaints about dogs running off the leash and
Right.
using the bathroom out there and not getting cleaned up, so, yeah. I haven't found anybody else, but I talked to that one person, but yeah, we're out there a lot more.
I think just the presence has made a big difference.
It does, yes.
Any further discussion on the consent agenda items? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Moving on to petitions, memorials, proclamations, and public comment. We have a proclamation. Whereas by the Congress of the United States dated June 14th, 1777, the first official flag of the United States was adopted. Whereas by act of Congress dated August 3rd, 1949, National Flag Day was designated each year as June 14th. Whereas Flag Day celebrates our nation's symbol of unity and democracy in a republic and stands for our country's devotion to freedom and equal rights for all. Whereas we pay our respects to all of the many veterans who have served in the armed forces of our country. Now therefore, I, Brandon Graves, Mayor of the town of Wheatland, Wyoming, do hereby proclaim June 14th as Flag Day in the town of Wheatland, Wyoming, and urge all citizens of Wheatland to join us in the recognition of June 14th, 2023 as Flag Day. Are there any other public comments at this time?
I have a comment. My name's Morton Tillman. I live in Wheatland. My wife and I have been utility ratepayers in Wheatland since January of '94. To my knowledge, we have never been late or delinquent of payments. We recently purchased a property at 500 7th Street. When we transferred the utility to our name, the town charged $750 just to transfer. This is an exorbitant amount for just transferring names. What do we receive for this money? This is not at all business friendly. Had I researched this before purchase, we would not have bought this property in town. We would have started our business outside the city limits. The town gets $750 for doing nothing. When we take a vehicle to the repair shop and pay $750, we get something for that. When we go to the grocery store and buy groceries for $100, we get something for that. This deposit should be returned after a period of on-time payment. Greed is one of the 7 deadly sins.
Thank you, Mort. Is there any other public comment at this time?
To go back to Mort, so that was, what's the re-update? So when you start your new service, what are the utility deposits for residential, and I assume commercial?
Commercial.
Mort, just question.
Residential is $350, residential all electric is $450, and commercial is $750. And this is when they close out service, that will, go, they'll get it back. Or it goes towards the last payment and then they get the balance back.
It is a lot.
It is certainly a lot.
That's a fairly new ordinance though, correct?
2016.
And
If anybody was here, recall, I think we had a lot of issues with non-payment, and you can't do that. And also we had issues, and I think the room was packed.
It was.
With landlords, because the original thought was the landlords would guarantee payment on their property they rent. None of them wanted to do that, so we had to be somewhat, say, listen, we're gonna put deposits out. And deposits are basically designed of how our bills are worked, is if you miss a payment, and I'm not saying Mort would at all, I'm just saying that if you miss a payment, by the time we cut you off and clear it, even if with the deposits, we're behind the 8 ball.
Because we bill a month behind.
You're already, yeah, by the time you're done, they've already got you for their deposit plus. And so the council at that time made that decision, and part of the compromise, I think, if I remember correctly, was that, listen, landlords don't want to guarantee their payment on their tenants. And there was some problems with that, because sometimes we didn't know when tenants moved out, and landlords during the winter, some of them would let the utilities run, and then all of a sudden, we were behind the 8 ball, and nobody to collect the money from. And so, so that it was really a compromise at that time for the deposits.
If somebody skips out on their bill and the landlord doesn't pay it, can't you put a lien on that property?
Nope.
And why is that?
Because that isn't, it wasn't the property's responsibility, it was the person that we put the utilities in. And landlords didn't want to do that, and the council made the decision
That's right. That was that whole in-use user.
Left it in the landlord's
Yes.
name.
Right.
Right.
Some landlords, not all of them, some of them actually kept it in their names because they wanted to make sure bills were paid, things weren't cut off. And so some landlords did it anyway. But where you can't, that isn't how our utility systems work. Because it's a,
What was the term you used? End-use user.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
I remember that conversation.
and I know it's harsh, I'm not saying, it's just that by the time we're done with the utilities, that 750 on a commercial building won't pay all the utilities.
So there's no way you could put a lien on that property if I.
Because the property isn't the responsible issue. The responsible party is the one that asked for the utilities.
But that's where the electricity's being used.
I understand that, but that isn't how that works.
Maybe we should change that.
Well, Mort, I would still tell these people the same thing. By the time we ran through all that, it would be so expensive. I would still suggest that you were always going to be behind the eight ball.
Well, then it's not too far in the future where you are going to be able to switch me off centrally located right here at City Hall. Right?
But as far as comparing groceries and repair on your automobile, the town furnishes services, be it water, sewer, electric, to every town resident.
You're missing my point, Willie. That's money out of my pocket. And I'm not receiving anything for it.
It's a deposit.
Maybe the first month's utility, or the first 3 months, or whatever it would be. Then I would be getting something for it. But right now I'm not.
No.
I'm just getting stuck with it.
I'm the same with REA. You're putting a
I'm not on
deposit down.
REA. I'm in the
When
city.
you commented of moving to the country,
I would have.
you put a deposit down there too.
Maybe.
I'm not here to argue with you.
I'm not either.
You know.
I just
But the
feel
town-
like
But the town office offers service. Residential all the way to commercial, industrial.
and I'm already paying for those services, correct?
It's your residence.
Anywhere. I'm paying the monthly utility, sewer, water, all that. I'm getting something for that, right? $750 is just a stick it to you.
No, it's a deposit.
It's a deposit that I'll never get back.
She just said,
I have no plans on selling that property.
but when you.
I plan on staying there.
So that's $750.
So I will never get that $750 back.
It's in the bank.
Your bank. The city's bank, not mine.
But it's there. So when you want to discontinue service, you'll get the $750 back.
Because we can't derive anything from it. We just hold that meter deposit in a account that we get no benefit of either, other than holding it.
And the interest.
No, no interest.
No, no interest. We do not benefit from it, zero. It's to cover bad debt when people skip out.
Well, like I said, we've been utility ratepayers in Wheatland since 1994, and to my knowledge, have never missed a payment. So shouldn't that give me some sort of good credit with the city? It seems like it not.
There was a credit out.
Well, we talked
scenario
about
that-
it. So, yeah. No, I mean, it came up in the discussion because it was next to.
Well, I'm trying to start a business here in town. And right now, $750 is just about everything I've got. And to just frivolously give it to the city for nothing, I get nothing for it. because I'm gonna be paying the electric bill every month, and the sewer and the water. So I'm getting something for that. But the $750, I feel like I'm not getting anything for that, other than, well, we're worried you're gonna skip out on your bill.
I understand what you're saying about the good, the good faith and the good credit on that. I feel the same way too. And I wish there was a way we could do that. Because I know what you're saying. You pay your bills.
Right.
When you pay your bills, you get good credit. You build good credit.
Right.
Just like when Marie started her catering business in that little house next to ours, we had to get a bigger transformer. We had to pay for that, which in turn the neighbors tapped off of it.
You got a transformer out of the deal.
But it's up there on that pole.
You're missing the point, Willie.
No.
You just totally miss it.
Because we had to have a bigger transformer.
And you got something for that. You got a transformer for
Well, I
that.
can't go up there on the pole and take it down when I'm leaving.
Never mind.
It's set in stone in, 2016?
Yeah, the ordinance was passed in 2016.
I don't know what you want us to do. Give it back?
At some point, yes. After 10 years of good faith and paying my bill, why wouldn't you give it back? You don't have an answer, do you?
Why didn't they put it in 2016 in writing?
Why can't this council do something about that? Are you telling me that you can't resolve or amend that code or whatever it is? This council?
No, it's absolutely within the power of this council if that's what they so choose to do.
Right.
I think it's worth discussion sometime. And we have a workshop. It's worth discussion.
Absolutely. But like I said, since 1994, there should be some kind of credit there or pat on the back. But no, I don't get that. I'm just upset that for $750, I expect to get something, And I'm not. All I'm getting is the $750 deposit that I will never see again. Because like I said, I do not plan on selling. And I am always going to pay my bill. Always. But it doesn't seem to matter.
It still goes towards your final bill, correct? So you're still getting it at the end when you no longer need services. You still get the deposit back.
Wow.
No, I think it's been 7-8 years since then, so bring it back up and
You're just
talk
gonna
about.
circle back.
I'm
Look at
willing to
some.
look at it.
Look at
See.
some.
Yeah.
Tabitha and Kenny have plenty of statistics to see how long say you would be comfortable where you didn't need more or less insurance. You don't need that insurance.
Right.
You've been around 5-10 years or whatever. So I think
10 years.
I think it's worth looking at the time. A lot of times you do all these ordinances, you think you cover all the due diligence and everybody gives all their input, but something still gets by the goalie.
That was just such a shock to us when we went to transfer the name from McLean's to ours. It was like somebody kicked me in the gut.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Weaver said there, when there's some landlords that hit them pretty hard. They had to do all their properties. Change it all.
Well,
Yeah, I'm open to look and do some more little
Yeah,
research
let's
and play
chew
with
on
some,
that more.
play with some numbers.
I wasn't aware of that either.
okay. Well, like I said, after about 10 years of paying utility rate, you'd think that you would get something back for that, but don't ever plan on missing a payment. I live here. I've lived here since '94. And I don't remember paying the $350.
More, you might not have, because at that time the rate wasn't there. It was probably,
For new customers.
yes, and I can tell you, and I think they formalized this a little bit better, because at some point, I think it used to be $60 for but I'll be real honest, sometimes the clerks didn't require it, and it needed to have a set policy in ordinance, because they were playing favorites more, and that wasn't fair either.
Right.
And some people, I think we have some people that have a $5 deposit because they've had payment, they've been for so long. So we have some that are $5. I think there is $5 out there.
Okay.
And then I think there's some that are $60. And then I think at some points when we had clerks and treasurers, they didn't make it didn't make certain people put deposits down. And that wasn't fair. If you're gonna have them, you better be consistent. And I think the council had that issue in 2016 also. So the deposits vary. It's kind of like if you buy a grave site, some people bought it for $50, and you can't sell it to anybody but for $50. You can't make profit on a grave site.
Right.
But now they cost $200 or $300 because they raised the rates because of the perpetual. That money goes into a perpetual fund. So things change, but I can tell you part of the discussion, I think, in 2016 is, let's be consistent. I think there were some people that walked in and they said, we know them, or they were a lawyer, or they were a doctor, and we're not going to charge them. Well, doctors and lawyers will stick it to you too sometimes, and
Right.
so I think that's what happened.
So if you were an electric or a utility ratepayer for that many years before 2016, we didn't get charged that $300.
You may not have. The ordinance came in, and I think there was a couple of reasons. One of them was they needed to be more consistent, and then also we were getting burned. To be frank about, we had large numbers of people that own rentals or apartment units and stuff. We were getting stuck. I mean, sometimes it was in the thousands. You just boom.
Right.
We still have that.
And we still have those issues.
So from 2016 on, it was for new.
For new customers, mean like if I moved my office building to a new location, and it was commercial, I paid $750, even though I had another one
Right.
somewhere else.
Okay.
Any new building, any new service,
Okay.
and if you moved your house from wherever you live on 60, I don't know, you live on Pine and 16th and Pine or
Right.
something like that. If you moved from that house to another house, we would have upped your rate to $350.
Okay.
And it didn't matter who it was, and they were trying to be consistent. And we've had arguments about people. We had one that, and so they just tried to be consistent in that regard.
Right.
Well, and also if someone has a, $50 deposit and they don't pay their utility bill, they get shut off, have to pay a reconnect fee, and they have to bring their deposit up to that $350. So their bill could be $600-$700 because they have to pay the reconnect, they have to pay the bill, and they have to bring their deposit up. So.
And so that basically how it started it.
Okay.
And I think the town, before that time, it was kind of wishy-washy on who had to pay the utility deposit. And I think it was $60 at that time. I can't remember. And you might have been one of the lucky ones that never even had to put a deposit down. Or
I don't know.
They,
I
they
don't
will know.
recall.
They know. The county
You'll
knows
know.
how much.
Yeah, I don't recall. I mean, we bought that house in March of '94.
Yeah, and so, I can't tell you.
Right. I can't either.
We'll add that to a workshop agenda, because that's. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? Unfinished business, item number 1 is ordinance 842. Which is the effective date of the 2021 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code on third and final reading. For the purpose of discussion, I'd entertain a motion to approve ordinance 842.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 842, third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion on ordinance 842?
So on our copy, do I have a date for the second reading?
What?
So is this the second reading?
This is third reading.
Second reading was May
8 here. Maybe you just don't have it.
8th. You're on the wrong order.
You're on the wrong ordinance.
You're on the Mountain West. This one is only 3.
Oh, sure enough, it's not as many pages. Okay, gotcha. All right.
We did, I did the same thing.
I know, it's like, I grabbed too many ordinances.
I did the same thing. All right, is there any further discussion on ordinance 842? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to ordinance 843, which is the franchise agreement with Mountain West Technologies on second reading. For the purpose of discussion, I entertain a motion to approve ordinance 843 on second reading.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 843, second reading.
Second it?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Or anybody that would like to speak to it?
I just, I'm Alicia Thorvaldson, the Director of Business Development with Mountain West Technologies, and I just wanted to make sure the amendment was added that we agreed upon last time about the repair to any concrete to suit the council's liking.
Yes.
I think there was.
It is. I think it's in your yellow.
Yeah.
Page 4.
Thank you.
Section 10.5.
Yes. I think the other one was corporation, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep, in
Yes.
the title. Is there any further discussion on ordinance 843? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Moving on to new business, item number 1, which is resolution 06-2023, which is amending the fiscal year 22-23 budget. You have resolution 06-2023 in front of you. Would entertain a motion to approve resolution.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 06-2023, amending the fall year 2022-2023 budget.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or clarification?
Mayor, on the, I won't go through it because you all have it there to read, but the capital project budget will be decreased to cover the expenditures where we're expecting to be over the 135,000. So the full amount budgeted for the 16th Street project's engineering was not used, will not be used in this current fiscal year. So that is where those funds came from. It will go to cover the overages in the other departments. We also had budgeted in capital projects for it's around the Black Mountain Water Tower, but we used that money for that. That just leaves some extra funds there in capital that will not be used to cover these.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. New business item number 2 is the fiscal year 23 TAP project agreement.
This is agreement with Wyoming Department of Transportation. It's a pathway grant. This pathway is the section that will be part of the 16th Street project. Rowley, so Derringer Park north to Sherrard Road. This will be done in conjunction with the 16th Street project.
So you just need a motion to approve the TAP agreement.
And that authorizes you to execute it.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 23 TAP program agreement with Wyoming Department of Transportation and the town of, by and between the town of Wheatland, authorizing the mayor to sign said agreement.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. The South Street water line and 11th Street sewer line bid proposals are next.
So, Engineering Associates joined those two projects into one. We bid them out together. We only received one bid in, and for South Street water line, it was bid at 189% higher than the engineer's estimate. And then the 11th Street sewer line was bid 155% higher than the engineer's estimate. So we are requesting council to reject the bid and authorize Engineering Associates to rebid the project.
Sounds logical.
Yeah.
So you need a motion.
Need a motion for that, yes.
Motion to reject it.
And
Yes,
authorize.
And authorize rebidding.
Make a motion to reject the South Street water line and 11th Street sewer line bid proposal and authorize the rebid.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. You also have before you the paperwork to assign exponential engineering agreements to Bar Engineering Company.
There's 4 assignments. They just bought out our engineering firm, the electrical engineering firm. And there's really 4 assignments because we have separate contracts for each project that we're doing. One's South Street, one's a long-range plan cost update, Black Mountain Phase 3, and then general engineering. None of the terms are changed. And Candy, I asked Candy, we're going to deal with the same individuals that we're dealing with now. They just bought them out or merged, and so. And you can approve all 4 of those, all of the 4 that I mentioned.
One motion.
Just move to approve. South Street, underground phase 2, long range plan cost update. Black Mountain phase 3, general engineering. We would say, so moved.
So moved.
So moved. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. New business item number 5 is the police department FTO policy. And for the purpose of discussion, I don't know how you want to word a motion, but I was having a thought, Doug, maybe before we act on this as written, would you mind maybe reaching out and seeing what other departments are doing so we can maybe do a little compare and contrast?
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, I mean, pick maybe some like-sized departments or something and get a couple, 2, 3 if you can, and share that information with us.
Not a problem.
Maybe it might lend some more perspective.
I like the idea of compensating your FTOs somehow, Doug, because the last thing we want is the people training new officers thinking it's a duty that they don't want or something that they're doing for free or something like that. So, yeah, if we could get more information.
Yep, I can provide that. I'll have the 45 this month or earlier, so won't be a problem.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. We need to do something. I just wonder what it looks like other places.
You'll have to correct.
Yeah, maybe if we could come up with some form of compensation for them per duty shift as opposed to just a day off, maybe it helps alleviate any officer availability problems that you might have.
Well, and
just some ideas.
From a general accounting principle, it would probably be much easier for Tabitha as well.
Yeah. Cool.
That was just my thought anyway. I mean, so I don't know that
That'd be
we'll act
great.
on this item as presented if that's all right.
Some more information for sure.
Makes good sense to me. Pencil with it.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that, Doug. Is there any other topics before the council, unfinished, or new or otherwise, or other public comment that we might have missed? If not, it looks like we have executive session on our docket.
I think she just leaves it there. I don't have anything.
I don't have anything unless you guys have something.
No, we're good there.
Okay.
Then, announcement-wise, there will be a budget hearing and special meeting on June 21st at 5 p.m. And then the next regularly scheduled council meeting at 7 on July 10th. And with that information shared, we'll just adjourn the meeting.